Okay, so all of you, let's apply this hormonal control, how it controls the menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle, 4 phases, day 1 to day 5 bleeding, day 6 to day 13 repair, day 14 ovulation, day 15 to day 28 prepare, and this is the way the menstrual cycle is happening. Phase 1, menstrual phase, bleeding, from day 1 to day 5. In the ovary, ovulation had taken place. Egg was moving with the help of cilia. Corpus hemorrhagicum had ruptured Graafian follicle, became corpus hemorrhagicum. Corpus hemorrhagicum had become corpus luteum. Corpus luteum was giving progesterone and estrogen. Corpus luteum was giving progesterone, estrogen. Progesterone, estrogen was preparing the endometrium. Mucus was being secreted. Uterine milk was being secreted. And endometrium was becoming coiled with blood vessels, thick and prepared. Preparation so ready, but the egg release did not get fertilized. Egg fertilized नहीं हुआ, unfertilized egg drops on the endometrium, and in the ovary, corpus luteum, I hope you remember, was giving lot of progesterone and estrogen. High amount of progesterone acts on endometrium and thickens it. But high progesterone gives a negative feedback, and the level of LH, RH and LH become less. In the absence of LH, corpus luteum will shrink to form a dead white tissue called corpus albicans. Estrogen, progesterone secretion will become less. Endometrium पे progesterone, estrogen act नहीं करेगा, and the endometrium will burst. Blood vessels burst, mucous glands burst, uterine glands burst, blood, mucus, uterine milk, and the unfertilized egg mix together and pass from the uterus through the vagina out of the female body. A phenomenon called as menstruation takes place. That fluid is called as menstrual fluid. 25 to 65 milliliters of menstrual fluid passes out, and the endometrium has burst. It now becomes very thin, only 0.5 millimeters in thickness. So 0.5 mm का endometrium रह जाता है, very thin endometrium. Bleeding takes place for 5 days. Day 6 to day 13 is now repair of the endometrium. Repairing of endometrium, day 6 to day 13 is called as the proliferative phase. Proliferative phase. Focus now. In the ovary, corpus luteum has shrunk to become corpus albicans. Estrogen, progesterone has become less. Endometrium has burst. Estrogen, progesterone less estrogen. Crucial word now. Less estrogen gives a positive feedback to the hypothalamus. FSH, RH increases, acts on the pituitary gland. FSH increases. Follicle stimulating hormone, नाम से मालूम पड़ रहा है, acts on both the ovaries, and in both ovaries, many primordial follicles start getting stimulated to become enlarged in size. तो बहुत सारे प्राइमोडियल फॉलिकल्स बड़े होने लगते हैं, and it's a race, and both the ovaries FSH is acting और दोनों ovaries में primordial follicle becomes early primary follicle, late primary follicle, secondary follicle, Graafian follicle. But sir, one of the follicles who gets extra FSH becomes a secondary follicle first. तो एक रेस होती है. Everybody starts at the line simultaneously, but after some time, one of them who is running faster becomes a leader. Similarly, तो running line पे FSH is acting on both ovaries. Many primordial follicles start enlarging, but एक follicle को extra FSH मिला, it will become secondary follicle first. और जिसका secondary follicle बन जाता है, उसमें theca folliculi becomes differentiated into theca interna and theca externa, and FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, acts on the theca interna of that single secondary follicle, and theca interna starts secreting estrogen. And estrogen levels will become high. Estrogen will pass from the theca interna of the secondary follicle, act in the body and act on the endometrium. Golden word, estrogen acts on the endometrium and estrogen repairs the endometrium. Who repairs the endometrium? Estrogen secreted by theca interna of the secondary follicle repairs the endometrium. Blood vessels repair, mucus glands repair, uterine glands repair, and the thickness now becomes 2 to 3 millimeter. If you remember, on rupturing it had become 0.5 millimeter. Now with the help of estrogen repairing, it becomes 2 to 3 millimeters thick. That is the repair phase called as the proliferative phase. From day 6 to day 13, repair takes place. Day 14, what will happen? Estrogen has become high, which has repaired the endometrium. But progesterone is still low, and high estrogen now gives a negative feedback to the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus stops giving FSH-RH. Pituitary stops giving FSH, and in the absence of FSH, follicle stimulating hormone does not stimulate theca interna, and theca interna stops giving estrogen. So the level of estrogen will now become decreased, and as high estrogen makes the level of FSH-RH, FSH less, negative feedback. Do you remember many follicles were enlarging, but only one had become secondary follicle, और एक secondary follicle के theca interna से estrogen release हुआ, endometrium repair हो गया, but high estrogen gave a negative feedback, FSH became less, and in the absence of FSH, other follicles now cannot enlarge and will degenerate. And that degeneration is called as atresia. So what has that single secondary follicle done? उसके theca interna ने estrogen दिया, estrogen के negative feedback से FSH कम हो गया, और FSH कम हो गया तो बाकी सारे follicles को FSH नहीं मिल रहा है, they start undergoing degeneration. What is degeneration called as? Atresia takes place. So only one secondary follicle is left. So estrogen becomes less and FSH becomes less, other follicles undergo atresia. In the meantime, low progesterone gives a positive feedback to the hypothalamus, and hypothalamus starts giving LHRH. LHRH acts on the pituitary and LH levels will increase. LH, luteinizing hormone, acts on that single secondary follicle and acts on the outer layer, theca externa. Theca interna was for giving estrogen. Theca externa gets stimulated by LH. So up tak FSH was stimulating follicle to increase. Now FSH has become less. LH will act on theca externa and secondary follicle will become enlarged Graafian follicle. LH acts on the Graafian follicle and Graafian follicle bursts, leading to ovulation. So this is the main hormone helping in ovulation to take place. LH, luteinizing hormone, acts on the Graafian follicle and helps it to undergo ovulation. The egg gets sucked into the fallopian tube and starts moving with the help of cilia. Day 14, ovulation takes place. Day 15 to day 28 is the preparatory phase, also called as the secretory phase. Day 15 to day 28 is the secretory phase. Ovulation has taken place. Egg is moving with the help of cilia. Which hormone helps in ovulation? LH. And the same LH now luteinizing hormone acts on the ruptured Graafian follicle. I hope you remember corpus hemorrhagicum, and corpus hemorrhagicum, red blood cells are stimulated by LH to become yellow colored lipid rich cells called as luteal cells. And LH converts red blood cells into yellow colored luteal cells and the structure formed is called corpus luteum. LH acts on the corpus luteum and corpus luteum starts secreting both progesterone and estrogen, of which high amount of progesterone, some amount of estrogen. High progesterone acts on the endometrium and prepares the endometrium. Golden verse, who prepares the endometrium? Progesterone. Who had repaired the endometrium? Estrogen. Who will prepare the endometrium? Progesterone. How is preparation done? Mucous glands are stimulated, mucus is secreted, uterine glands are stimulated, uterine milk is secreted, blood vessels coil, and the endometrium becomes 5 millimeter thick. If you remember, on rupturing it was 0.5. After estrogen repairs, it will become 2 to 3 mm. And now as progesterone prepares it, it will become 5 millimeters thick, and these are preparations going on for pregnancy. Ovulation has taken place. If fertilization takes place, then the zygote will form morula. Morula will drop on endometrium and mucus will help in sticking of the zygote or the morula, The uterine milk will act on the morula and convert it into a blastula. Coiled blood vessels will form a bag called placenta, which with umbilical cord will provide nourishment to the fetus. And what will happen as pregnancy takes place? Corpus luteum will persist. It will keep on giving progesterone and estrogen, and in the presence of progesterone estrogen, corpus luteum is persistent progesterone, estrogen maintains the endometrium and the menstrual cycle will stop. But suppose ovulation takes place and copulation, fertilization does not take place. Unfertilized egg drops on the endometrium, then in the ovary, corpus luteum was giving high progesterone. Progesterone prepared endometrium, and endometrium gives mucus, uterine milk, everything. Because of high progesterone, endometrium was stimulated, but high progesterone gives a negative feedback and the level of LH, RH and LH becomes less, and in the absence of LH, corpus luteum shrinks to form corpus albicans, estrogen, progesterone become less and the endometrium bursts. And that phenomenon is called as menstruation. So a new menstrual cycle begins. I hope you all have understood this. Let's recap it again. Ovulation, ruptured Graafian follicle becomes corpus hemorrhagical, becomes corpus luteum. Corpus luteum gives progesterone and estrogen. Progesterone will prepare the endometrium. Corpus luteum gives high progesterone which prepared endometrium, but high progesterone gives a negative feedback. LH becomes less. Corpus luteum shrinks to form corpus albicans. Estrogen, progesterone becomes less. In the absence of estrogen, progesterone, endometrium will not get stimulated, endometrium bursts, menstruation takes place. Bleeding takes place for 5 days. Corpus luteum became corpus albicans, estrogen, progesterone became less. Less estrogen gave a positive feedback, FSH-RH, FSH became high. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, stimulated both ovaries and many primordial follicles start enlarging. One of it becomes a secondary follicle first. Secondary follicle, FSH acts on the theca interna. Theca interna gives estrogen. Estrogen will repair the endometrium. Estrogen repairs endometrium, but high estrogen gives a negative feedback. FSH-RH, FSH becomes less, and other follicles do not get FSH. They undergo degeneration called atresia. In the meantime, progesterone levels are less, will give a positive feedback. LH, RH and LH will become high. LH acts on the single secondary follicle, stimulates the theca externa, and secondary follicle becomes Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle bursts and ovulation takes place. LH helps with ovulation. Egg is in the fallopian tube moving with the help of cilia. LH acts on the ruptured Graafian follicle called corpus hemorrhagicus. LH converts the red blood cells into yellow color cells called corpus luteum. LH stimulates corpus luteum to secrete progesterone and estrogen. Progesterone prepares the endometrium. In the meantime, unfertilized egg drops on the endometrium. Progesterone, estrogen was secreted by corpus luteum. High progesterone gives a negative feedback. LH becomes less. In the absence of LH, corpus luteum will shrink to form corpus albicans. Estrogen, progesterone become less. In the absence of progesterone, estrogen, endometrium will burst. Menstruation takes place. Once again, luteum becomes albicans. Estrogen, progesterone less. Less estrogen, positive feedback. FSH high. FSH stimulates many primordial follicles. One of it becomes the secondary follicle. FSH stimulates theca interna, estrogen. Estrogen repair endometrium. High estrogen, negative feedback. FSH becomes less. In absence of FSH, other follicles undergo degeneration called atresia. In the meantime, progesterone low gives a positive feedback. LH, RH, LH become high. LH stimulates secondary follicle theca externa, and the single secondary follicle becomes Graafian follicle. LH stimulates Graafian follicle to burst. LH helps in ovulation. Egg is in the fallopian tube. Ruptured Graafian follicle is acted upon by LH, converts corpus hemorrhagicum into corpus luteum. LH stimulates corpus luteum to give progesterone and estrogen. Progesterone will prepare the endometrium. Progesterone prepares endometrium, but in the meantime, high progesterone gives a negative feedback. LH, RH, LH become less. Luteum will shrink to form albicans. Estrogen, progesterone become less. In the absence of progesterone, estrogen, endometrium will burst. Menstruation takes place. Once again, less estrogen, more FSH. More FSH, primordial follicle becomes secondary follicle. Theca interna, FSH, estrogen. Estrogen, repair endometrium. High estrogen, negative feedback, less FSH. Other follicles undergo atresia. Low progesterone, high LH. LH stimulates the theca externa of the secondary follicle, will become Graafian follicle. LH helps it to undergo ovulation. Ovulation, LH acts on corpus hemorrhagicum to become corpus luteum. Corpus luteum stimulated by LH to give progesterone, estrogen. Progesterone prepares endometrium. Progesterone prepares endometrium. High progesterone, negative feedback. LH low, luteum will become albicans. Estrogen, progesterone becomes less, endometrium bursts. Cycle repeats. But for a change now, ovulation takes place. LH helps in ovulation. LH acts on corpus hemorrhagicum to become corpus luteum. Corpus luteum starts giving progesterone and estrogen. Progesterone prepares endometrium. High progesterone, negative feedback, LH becomes less. Corpus luteum becomes corpus albicans. Estrogen, progesterone less. Endometrium bursts. Endometrium bursts, but in the low estrogen, positive feedback, FSH, RH, FSH more. FSH stimulates many primordial follicles to become enlarged. One becomes secondary follicle. FSH stimulates theca interna. Estrogen is secreted. Estrogen repairs the endometrium. High estrogen, negative feedback. FSH becomes less. Other follicles undergo degeneration called atresia. Single secondary follicle, low progesterone, positive feedback, LH becomes high, LH stimulates theca externa, and secondary follicle becomes Graafian follicle. Ovulation takes place. LH converts corpus hemorrhagicum into corpus luteum. Corpus luteum stimulated by LH. LH stimulates corpus luteum to give progesterone and estrogen. Endometrium thickens. But for a change, ovulation has taken place by LH. Ruptured Graafian follicle, hemorrhagicum, is acted by LH to become corpus luteum. LH stimulates corpus luteum to give progesterone, estrogen. Progesterone is preparing endometrium. In the meantime, copulation takes place. Ejaculation takes place. Sperm goes and fuses with the egg to form the zygote. Zygote forms morula. Morula drops in the endometrium and sticks to it. What will happen? Corpus luteum was giving high amount of progesterone, estrogen. Progesterone prepares endometrium. High progesterone will give negative feedback. LH, RH and LH will become less. In the absence of LH, corpus luteum will shrink to form corpus albicans. Estrogen, progesterone become low. Endometrium will burst. Can endometrium burst? अरे sir, this time it is not unfertilized egg, this time it is morula. So endometrium does not have to burst. But for endometrium not to burst, there has to be continuous secretion of progesterone and estrogen. For high amount of progesterone, corpus luteum should persist. But sir, how will corpus luteum persist? Corpus luteum was giving high amount of progesterone. Progesterone would prepare endometrium, but high progesterone will give negative feedback. LH becomes less, and luteum will shrink to form albicans. So high progesterone causes suicide. High progesterone prepare to करता है endometrium को, but high progesterone causes a decrease in LH, and corpus luteum will shrink to form corpus albicans. So corpus luteum commits suicide. High progesterone for preparation, but high progesterone causes LH to become less, and in the absence of LH, luteum will become albicans. तो उसने suicide किया है. Progesterone high है, लेकिन LH कम हो गया, तो ये luteum का तो suicide to corpus albicans. How to prevent that? Corpus luteum के progesterone prepare endometrium. High progesterone gives a negative feedback, LH becomes less. In the absence of LH, corpus luteum would shrink to form albicans, estrogen progesterone would become less, endometrium burst, that would lead to an abortion. So, we need to find a substitute for LH. What is that substitute? If fertilization takes place, zygote forms morula. Morula drops in the endometrium and becomes a blastula. Blastula cells now start secreting a hormone called as HCG. HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. Human chorionic gonadotropin hormone HCG is secreted by the blastula cell, and golden word HCG circulates in the blood and acts on corpus luteum, and HCG maintains the corpus luteum intact. So, HCG acts as a substitute for LH. Golden words. Corpus luteum is giving progesterone, estrogen. Progesterone prepare endometrium. High progesterone gives a negative feedback. LH becomes less. In the absence of LH, luteum should shrink to become albicans, but that will mean estrogen progesterone less, endometrium burst, abortion. So high progesterone makes level of LH become less, and luteum would shrink to form albicans, but zygote forms morula, morula forms blastula, blastula secretes HCG. HCG acts as a substitute for LH, and LH कब है, but HCG उसका substitute है. It acts on the corpus luteum, and the corpus luteum will persist. Corpus luteum persists for 3 months and keeps on secreting progesterone and estrogen. In the presence of progesterone estrogen, endometrium does not rupture and the menstrual cycle will stop. So menstruation बंद हो जाता है. So who maintains corpus luteum during pregnancy? HCG given by the zygote, to be specific by the blastula cells. HCG acts on corpus luteum and corpus luteum persists for 3 months. But sir, 3 महीने के बाद though HCG is secreted by the developing blastula, HCG acts on corpus luteum, but within 3 months corpus luteum के सारे estrogen progesterone cells खत्म हो जाते हैं, and that means after 3 months it will degenerate to form corpus albicans. So estrogen progesterone will now become less, endometrium will burst, abortion will take place after 3 months. No sir, no problem, because within 3 months in the uterus is developed the bag called the placenta, and placenta with umbilical cord provides nourishment to the fetus, but placenta also secretes estrogen and progesterone, and placenta secretes estrogen progesterone which maintains the endometrium intact from the 4th month to the 9th month. So for 9 months endometrium will remain intact. For 9 months estrogen progesterone levels are high. Who secretes estrogen progesterone? First 3 months corpus luteum under the action of HCG, which is a substitute for LH. Corpus luteum persists for 3 months under action of HCG, keeps on secreting progesterone, estrogen, and maintains the endometrium. After 3 months, the placenta fully develops and placenta secretes estrogen, progesterone, and maintains the endometrium intact. And as a matter of fact, this HCG circulates in the blood, and via blood enters into the kidneys, and via kidneys also goes into the urinary bladder and comes out through the urethra along with urine. तो यूरिन में HCG पास होता है, यूरिन में HCG पास होता है. Sir, that means if you want to find out whether a lady is pregnant, you going for, I'm sure you have heard of it, a pregnancy test. Sir, if any girl misses her periods and she's a lady misses her periods, she has had sexual intercourse with her husband, they are planning to have a child, and first thing, the lady after having sexual intercourse with her husband, 1 month later she misses her periods. She misses her periods. So sir, what is the first thing she does? Before she goes to a gynecologist who will do a sonography and find out a developing child, all she does is goes to a chemist and asks the chemist for a pregnancy test kit. तो pregnancy test kit आपने एड्स में देखा रहेगा टीवी पे, एक छोटा सा स्ट्रिप होता है phenolphthalein मटेरियल का, और phenolphthalein का वो स्ट्रिप the lady brings at home, and this strip has got a blue color chemical in it. So strip में blue color होता है. She goes to the washroom and she passes urine onto it. अगर यूरिन के अंदर HCG है तो HCG acts on the blue chemical and converts it into a pink color. So the strip blue color becomes pink color, means HCG has acted on the chemical and converted from blue color into pink color, and that confirms that she has indeed become pregnant. That is a positive sign for pregnancy to have successfully taken place. So, how do you confirm whether a lady has become pregnant? Find HCG in the urine by seeing the color change from blue to pink. तो HCG urine में है. By the way, who secretes HCG? HCG secreted by a blastula, means indeed there is a blastula in the uterus and she has actually become pregnant. So beautiful and neat point of view. Which hormone is detected in urine for a pregnancy test? The hormone called as HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. I hope you all have understood the menstrual cycle well. Fine. So I'll give you a nice, beautiful question, a reward question. If you are able to answer it, have a Cadbury at home. In the class I would have given you, but now that we are not in class, you can give yourself a Cadbury if you answer this question. Women all over the world, to prevent pregnancy, consume oral contraceptive pills, OC pills. Those pills prevent pregnancy. Those pills are nothing but a combination of estrogen and progesterone. Then I would want you all to think about this. How can taking estrogen progesterone tablets prevent pregnancy? You can pause for a few seconds, think about it, create your own answer, and then play again, and I will tell you the answer. But you can take a pause and first think about it yourself. I hope many of you get your Cadbury. Fine. So I'll give the answer now. If a lady takes a high amount of estrogen progesterone pills, every night she takes the OC pills, her estrogen progesterone becomes high, and every night she takes the pill, so estrogen remains high, progesterone remains high. As long as she takes the pill every night, estrogen progesterone remain high, will give a negative feedback, and the level of FSH and LH will remain low. So as long as she's taking the pill, estrogen progesterone is high, which means FSH LH is low. In the absence of FSH, primordial follicle will not become secondary follicle. In the absence of LH, secondary follicle will not become Graafian follicle. जब तक Graafian follicle नहीं बनेगा, ovulation will not take place. And if there is no ovulation, even if sperms enter the fallopian tube, there is no egg only to combine with it. In other words, pregnancy will not take place. Beautiful concept. Millions of women worldwide take oral contraceptive pills, which are estrogen progesterone tablets. Consume the pill. High estrogen, high progesterone in the blood will give a negative feedback. FSH, LH will become less. In the absence of FSH, primordial follicle will not become secondary follicle. In the absence of LH, secondary follicle will not become Graafian follicle. In other words, ovulation will not take place, means fertilization will never take place, pregnancy will never take place. Beautiful concept. I hope you all have understood menstrual cycle well. This is the most crucial lecture of the entire chapter. Please understand this well. Any doubts you have, feel free to WhatsApp me, call me up, and we will solve those doubts on your Zoom session when we have it later. Okay? Take care all of you. God bless you. Please study this well for the DCT next week. Take care. Bye-bye.